The 871st edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com and use promo code MMA SGPN.
Hi-ho, Degenerinos. Welcome to episode 871 of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to someone who said that we're amazing. Let me see. Gucci Sosa, obviously. You guys smashed last week on numerous cards. Just wanted to give you guys your flowers. So thank you, Gucci Sosa. I am the Canadian Bogatir, Jeff Fox. With me, the man who smashed all those picks, Daniel Gumby Vreeland. Reluctantly, we're back to cover the second half of UFC 318. The pay-per-view portion. Gumby, give me something positive about this pay-per-view.
Well, if Roman Kopylov actually fights Paulo Costa, because I feel like Paulo Costa has been part of the last 78 fight cancellations that I've seen. If that fight actually happens, it should be real weird.
Yep. Paulo Costa's got 4 fights in the past 5 years, I think, and 6 fight cancellations. So yeah,
beautiful.
But it's as of this recording, it's only a few days away. So and he's gonna be I can't remember. I saw some quote. He's gonna be amazing. He's gonna be dangerous again. All this nonsense. Yeah, if that's the best we're hoping for this fight card, then yeah, we're in trouble here. Maybe we'll win some money on it. Maybe there's a bunch of minus 400s on this card though. So. Yeah, gonna be interesting to say the least. It's UFC 318, Holloway versus Poirier 3. Before we dive into it, I'm a bummer.
You are
usually Gumby can boost us up, but even he's not big in this one either. Get all your SGPN picks and props for free with the SGPN app. Get it wherever you get your apps. All right, let's get her over with, ladies and gentlemen. UFC 318, Holloway versus Poirier 3, New Orleans, Louisiana, this Saturday night in the Smoothie King Center. We're on the pay-per-view portion, so 10 p.m. start time. And like I said, let's just dive into her, see what we get. Maybe at least at the end, we'll have our fancy play. So they're always fun. We're kick things off with one of those long, odd fights. 155, Michael Johnson on a pay-per-view in the year of our Lord 2025 against Daniel Zellhuber, U.S. versus Mexico. I'll tell you about Johnson first. Dennis the Menace. Doesn't even have an original nickname. 23-19. 23-19. Insane. 10 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out 3 times, submitted 9 times. 15-15 in the UFC. However, he's won 2 straight. I probably picked against him in both those fights. Gumby's going to probably tell you that he picked them, right?
I don't think I would have taken Michael Johnson, so I won't take credit for that.
No. As my lights are crashing on top of me. All right. He's won 4 of 9. That's not quite as good. Knockout win in his last fight, though. He's not lost since May 2023. He's fought at 145, missed weight there. Now he's a 155er. 4-0 in the Ultimate Fighter. Multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get our shirt, get our merch, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Get sticky. 2008 Pro MMA debut. He's outstruck his opponents by 0.43 strikes per minute, plus 450. Golden Boy Zellhuber, 15-2, 7 knockouts, 3 submissions. Never been finished in a fight. 3-2 in the UFC. 3-1 over his last 4. He did lose the last fight, though. 1-0 in Contender Series. He's fought at 170. 3 inches height, 4 inches reach over Johnson, 13 years younger, more active landing strikes. He's outstruck his opponents by 0.24 strikes per minute, minus 464. Nice little run for Johnson, but it ends here. Zellhuber's just really good and way bigger and way younger. So I got to go with him.
Yeah, and Michael Johnson's kind of got like sneaky power and sometimes kind of surprising wrestling and stuff like that. But like Zellhuber has shown pretty good takedown defense. He uses his length really well. In that Ribovic fight, it was Esteban Ribovic. He was in that war with, right? Fight of the year kind of stuff. He showed he's got a really great chin. Like I just think he's gonna piece him up on the outside. As much as, like you said, it was kind of a fun run for Michael Johnson. I think it ends here. Like I think this is a Zellhuber fight all day.
Yep. See, we don't even have deep analysis for these fights for you.
I mean, like
maybe for the
next can't get inside, he can't get a takedown. Like
exactly.
He loses that.
He's old. 145. Next featherweight, Dan Ige, United States. Patricio Pitbull. Patricio Freire, actually, is the name. He's from Brazil. Break her down, but tell you about Pitbull first. 36-8. 12 knockouts, 12 submissions. He's been knocked out twice, submitted once. 0-1 in the UFC. He's won 1 of 4 and 4 of 7. He lost his last fight. 24-7 in Bellator, multi-time champion. RIP Bellator. He's fed at 135 and 155. 2004 pro MMA debut. He's been outstruck, for the stats we have by 2.03 strikes per minute, plus 185. 50K, our favorite nickname, Dan Ige, the Danimal, forever in our hearts. 19-9, 7 knockouts, 5 submissions, never been finished in a fight. 11-8 in the UFC, 1-2 over his last 3, 2-3 over his last 5, 4-6 over his last 10. Won his last fight via TKO. He's fed at 150 and 165. 2014 pro MMA debut. An inch height, 4 inches reach over Pitbull, 4 years younger. Better striking stats, more active landing strikes. He's outstruck his opponents by 0.12 strikes per minute, minus 200. All right, Gumby.
I really did debate going with Pitbull here.
If he could win, right?
I wound up going with Ige. The big piece for me in this fight is like Pitbull's really slowed down, and I'm not just talking about his fight with Yair Rodriguez where he looked like he didn't know how to throw a punch because that was weird. He had that weird Bellator. These lights are slightly brighter, and I'm
yes. Yes.
Also, like, even go back and watch the difference between like his early title fights when he was, absolutely demolishing anybody, and like then the Bellator title fight where he fought Jeremy Kennedy, and like the speed is just not the same. His ability to bully somebody is just not the same. And like this is probably the right level for him to be fighting now. Like he should be fighting the Davies. He shouldn't be fighting Yair Rodriguez and whatever else is at the top of this division. But even then, like Ige is like, quick. He's in your face. He's crazy durable. He, pours it on late in the fight. I mean, like he was dominating Sean Woodson for those first 2 rounds and got the finish at the end of it. Which I know I didn't pick him in that one. So look, I even tell on myself.
Hey.
I know I took Woodson in that one. And like, Ige to be able to put together like a gritty fight like that against a guy who's not got the speed he once had, not got the cardio he once had, not got like the, the resolve he once had. Yeah, I'm going to take Ige. But I will say, like, I'm probably not interested in that kind of price on him because it is a little bit steep for me.
Yeah, I got to go with Ige as well. Yeah, Pitbull, he's taken a lot of beatings over his career, and like Gumby said, the speed is not there. Ige's not really a guy that relies on speed, so he can age out probably pretty well in the UFC. So I see him grinding out and making this a probably not fun fight, but Ige has got to be the pick here. All right, before we dive into more winners, let me tell you about another thing you can win: Circa Million and Circa Survivor. Think you know ball? Then you have to enter Circa's football contest with $21 million in guaranteed prizes. There's no rake, so if entries go above the guarantee, all extra money will go to the prize pool. Circa Million, you pick 5 teams against the spread each week, or go for the ultimate sweat in Circa Survivor. There's even the Circa Grandissimo $100,000 Survivor contest. You must register in person at a Circa Sportsbook in Nevada. Well, that's an excuse to go to Las Vegas. Then sign up in Nevada, but play from anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy. So go to footballcontest.com and use promo code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. And we're brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every sport, including MLB, WNBA, golf, and of course, football features. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations, easy deposit, and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Get all the UFC lines we're talking about over at MyBookie. And when you do head over there, MyBookie.ag, use our code to sign up, MMASGPN. That way you get 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's MyBookie.ag, promo code MMASGPN. All right, another long, odd fight. Kevin Holland, he's back. He fights every other card versus Daniel Rodriguez, US versus US. Break it down. Rodriguez, D-Rod, good nickname, 19-5, 9 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted once, 9-4 in the UFC. He's won 2 straight. Before that, he lost 3 straight. TKO win in his last bout. He's fed at 155 and 185. Failed a drug test. Regional champ. 1-0 Contender Series. 2015 Pro MMA debut. 1-1 as a pro boxer. More active landing strikes than Holland. He's outstruck his opponents by 2 strikes per minute, plus 430. Trailblazer. Holland, 28-13 with 1 no contest. 14 knockouts, 9 submissions. He's been knocked out twice, submitted 4 times. 25-10 with 1 no contest in the UFC. He's won 2 straight. Before that, he lost 2 straight. He's 3-4 over his last 7. Submission win in his last bout. He's fed at 185 and 195. Multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get our shirts, get our merch, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. Get sticky. 1-0 Contender Series, 1-0 in Bellator. He missed weight before at 170. 2015 Pro MMA debut. Very similar resume as these guys. 2-1 as a pro boxer. 2 inches of height over Rodriguez. 7 inches of reach. 6 years younger. He's outstruck his opponents by 1.13 strikes per minute. Minus 450. Don't want to pay minus 450 for Kevin Holland, but I'm going to have to. He's a much different fighter at 170, as Gumby has said in the past. Better striker than Rodriguez, way bigger, but probably would be better served to take this fight to the ground because he's actually better on the ground than Rodriguez is. But either way, I think he can beat Rodriguez. Maybe go with a finish prop if you do really want to take Holland, but Holland's my play.
Yeah, I don't think he would be well served to take this to the ground. Really, all of his submission skills come from people taking a bad shot on him when he's been piecing him up. Like it's not really a proactive approach to grappling that works for Kevin Holland. It's a reactive.
Yeah.
And so for me, yeah, like I think he's gonna piece up, D-Rod on the feet. I don't think D-Rod's got any chance to hang with him striking. And we've seen better takedown defense and, like I said, reactive Kevin Holland. Now that he's down at 170 pounds, he's definitely a better fighter there. I'm with you exactly with what you said before. Like, yeah, we on this show, we talk about who we would take on the money line no matter what. But if you want to prop on, Kevin Holland inside the distance, that way you're covered in case he sparks him on the feet, or if he does get like one of those situations where he tags D-Rod and he shoots a lazy takedown and winds up getting Darst. Like, you can get the inside the distance prop at -165 right now. And like, that's probably the best way to play Kevin Holland is like, he's probably going to finish D-Rod. And so like give him the opportunity to do that.
All right. We're both in on Kevin Holland, the Trailblazer. All right. We're to the co-main already. There's really not much to talk about on this card, is there? Sadly, we're ripping right through it. Co-main event. Usually you can rate judge a card by its co-main event, right, Gumby? Paulo Costa.
That's one of my favorite sayings is that. But like, here's a question for you. So yes, I usually say you can judge a card by its co-main event, and this one is a stinker. It's not. Well, I mean, it's not a stinker. Like, Costa is kind of past his prime, but like Kopylov's still fun as hell, right?
Yes, he is. Yeah.
But if this was Marvin Vettori versus Brendan Allen, which is on the card, as the co-main event, would you respect it more?
I guess that's rough though, buddy.
I think I'd respect it more. Marvin Vettori, or I mean, Brendan Allen, even if he's the B side of that one, is better than Paulo Costa.
Yeah, that's true. Paulo Costa, ladies and gentlemen, he's fighting Roman Kopylov. Brazil versus Russia. Let's tell you about Costa if he shows up. Borachina, Little Rubber. It's 14-4, 11 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out once. He's durable at the very least. 6-4 in the UFC. He's lost 2 straight and won 1 of 5. That one win, he barely beat Luke Rockhold. He's not fought since June 2024. The Rockhold win was August 2022. He's fought at 205, 1-1 the Ultimate Fighter, a regional champ, 2012 Pro May debut, an inch taller than Kopylov, more active line strikes. He's been outstruck by 0.34 strikes per minute, plus 211. Kopylov, 14-3 with 12 knockouts. He's been submitted twice. 6-3 in the UFC. He's won 2 straight and 6 of 7. TKO win in his last bout. Multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get a shirt, get a merch. sportsgameplugs.com/store. He's fed at 205, 3 inches reach over Costa. He's outstruck his opponents by 0.1 strikes per minute. Better grappling stats than Costa, -220. Gumby, Kopylov, right? It's you.
This one's on me. Yeah,
it's Kopylov.
It's Kopylov for me. I think the big difference here is like if you've watched Kopylov in any of his losses, right? His losses come when he becomes like a fish out of water on the mat. Somebody can kind of overpower him, and he's got good submission skills. And like, let's look at Paulo Costa's record real quick, right? He's got, would you say 14 wins?
Yep.
And 11 of them are by knockout and 2 of them are by decision. So he's subbed 1 person, and it was like a million years ago. So, he's not coming with that submission game, which is pretty much what you need to beat Kopylov at this time. I just think he's going to have too much trouble with the hands and the kicks too, for real, because like that's really where Kopylov is his best, is like those kicks, particularly in the midsection. And like, look, we've seen this with Paulo Costa. He looks like I was going to say 1 foot out the door, but it's really 2 feet out the door, right? Like, this guy seems like he has wanted to get out of fighting for a while. When he was an undefeated prospect and he rose to that title fight, he got Israel Adesanya, and we're all like, hey, what an incredible run. And then he was embarrassed. And I don't just mean in the fight, I mean after the fight too. But like, he was absolutely embarrassed in that fight. And since then, like, the heart's not in it, right? Like, he almost quit in that fight with Rockhold, and Rockhold wound up like scoring weird takedowns and having like moments. And like, Rockhold at that point in time was like a model and a TV personality. He wasn't even a fighter at that time. And he still almost beat Costa. And it's not because Costa's not skilled. It's just that like the version of Costa that rode him up to a title fight isn't there anymore. And if you're going to fight a guy who's going to, beat the hell out of your rib cage with kicks, like that's not the kind of guy you want to fight when like your mental resolve is like kind of already not there. You don't have a lot of mental fortitude going into the fight, and then somebody kicks you in the rib 6 times. Like that's a recipe to kind of quit. So I'm going to go with Kopylov here.
Yeah, Kopylov is the obvious pick here. Probably more than probably. It's probably a really good line for this fight as well, since you're really. I was going to say you don't know what you're going to get from Costa, but I think you kind of do. It's been about 5 years of this. When he's shown up, he's fought the way he has fought. So, all right. Before we get to the main event, Underdog Fantasy time. Underdog Best Ball Mania is happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place. No waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best Ball is the best way to play fantasy football. And Underdog is also a great place to play Pick'em, as Gumby will let you know right now.
Yeah, on Thursday, which is obviously the day we're recording and dropping this, we got the Spurs in action in Summer League. We're gonna take the higher than on Dylan Harper's points. He hasn't been shooting the ball really well lately, but the volume he's been shooting is enough for him to go higher than the 14.5 they're projecting on him. He got 16 in the last game, and again, it was some pretty piss poor shooting. So, like, as long as his shooting picks up a notch here, he should easily go higher than that.
All right, take that and head over to underdogfantasy.com and use our promo code MMASGPN to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. Underdogfantasy.com, promo code MMASGPN. And you've heard us talk about Rhythm before, and they just dropped a game-changing feature called Power Trends. Essentially, the best of the best of what their house model has to offer. These are AI-detected patterns where Rhythm's model has consistently won and has a high ROI. Think a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time when the line and win probability hit a certain range. Power trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm. No touts, no noise, just clean data-backed bets. MLB power trends are 254 and 147, which is a win rate of 63% and an ROI of 4.5% in their past 400 bets. And WNBA power trends are 35 and 20 since launch, with that is a 63.64% win rate and 20.7% ROI. Download the Rhythm app, check out power trends, and start betting smarter. You know we will be. Gumby keeps finding WNBA gems on there, right?
Yeah, they gave me Olivia Nelson Adobda in her rebounds the other day, and I was like, all right, yeah, I'm down with I always love a rebound. You remember when the NBA was in full swing? I love an NBA rebound prop. So they're spitting out rebound props. She got me on board, and she went for 5 on a 4.5 projection. So
sneaked it by.
Yeah, you're always gonna. And she didn't play the fourth quarter at all.
Oh, it's a sweat. Well, I guess you already hit it by that. So good.
Yeah, if you hadn't already, if you had 5.5, that baby's a sweat.
Yeah. All right. You can get it 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com, which you're always at already, and then typing in Rhythm, RITHMM. My lights are attacking me again, Gumby. It's a big disaster. Let's get this episode over. We're to the main event. It's a trilogy fight. Not a rubber match, though. Max Holloway, who has the championship logo beside his name on Tapology. He's the defending champ. Against Dustin Poirier for the UFC BMF, in quotes, title belt. Okie doke. Let's break it down, shall we? The challenger in his retirement fight, Dustin the Diamond Poirier, hometown fight as well. 30-9 with 1 no contest, 15 knockouts, 8 submissions. He's been knocked out 3 times, submitted 4 times. 22-8 with 1 no contest in the UFC. Win, loss over his last 5 fights. 5-3 over his last 8. Submission loss in his last fight back in June of 2024. He's 2-0 against Holloway. 2012, he beat him in Holloway's UFC debut. 2019, he beat him for an interim lightweight championship. Used to fight at 145, 1-1 in WEC. WEC never die. When he retires, that's one more WEC alum gone. 2009 pro and made debut, 3 inches reach over Holloway. He's outstruck his points by 0.97 strikes per minute, plus 121. Blessed Max Holloway, 26-8, 12 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted once. 22-8 in the UFC. Used to be the featherweight champion. He's won 3 of 4 and 5 of 7. Got knocked out in his last bout. Very first time ever he's been knocked out. Regional champ, 2010 pro and made debut. 2 inch sight over Poirier, 2 years younger, more active landing strikes, and he's outstruck his opponents by 2.4 strikes per minute. Minus 125. Give me the dog. I'll go with Poirier. He's already beaten him twice. He obviously knows how to beat him. It's a size thing, size and power thing as well. Holloway just fought. I know he's been fighting at 155, but he just fought at 145 and got knocked out. The fact he got knocked out is an issue as well, because this is a guy who's taken a beating over his career, and eventually the check comes and you got to pay it. Worried about that. And like I said, Poirier has got the size and power and the motivation probably with this being his quote unquote retirement fight. I can see him challenging for the belt in his next fight if he wins this. So, but give me Dustin the Diamond at plus 121.
Nah, I think if they send a pay-per-view to your hometown to let you retire, I think you got to retire the right way. And there's also lots of title challengers chomping at the bit at 55, right? Like Gaethje's seemingly in line, Sarukian's in line, Patty's in line. Like, yeah, he'd have a lot of work to do to get up there in his recent record. But I'm gonna go with Poirier too.
Nice.
The piece I really like about Poirier in the grand scheme of things is kind of what you said about the power. But it's not just the power, right? Because like if we just talk about power and size, you know, Gaethje should have beat Max Holloway then, right? Because he's got power and size over him too. But it's the ability to go toe-to-toe with him in terms of the technique, right? And that's the big piece for Poirier, is that Poirier can be as technical as Max Holloway. Gaethje can't, right? So he can go toe-to-toe with him in technique, and then on top of that, has the power and the size. So it's almost like, to me, the power and the size is the tiebreaker for him in this fight. Because, like, the only people who have gone in and beaten Max Holloway, at least in recent memory, are guys who can match their technique, right? Is, you know, Alexander Volkanovski, nobody can doubt that guy's one of the most technical fighters we've seen. You know, Dustin Poirier did it when he first came up to 55. And, you know, we're seeing Ilia Topuria be an absolutely elite fighter when it comes to his technique. So, like, if you can match Max Holloway in terms of technical striking, then the fight goes to the guy who is either the better grappler or the better power puncher. And I think in both of these cases, it's Dustin Poirier. Now, before we kick it to our recap and we kick it to our props and our specialty plays, I got to throw this one out here. I'm not somebody, you know, I am somebody who likes a long shot, but I'm not somebody who usually goes this deep on a long shot.
Okay.
But, like, bear with me. We're going to New Orleans. He's retiring in this fight.
Yep.
He hits Max Holloway really hard and jumps the gilly and gets it to work.
Oh, jumping the gilly.
And gets it to work for the first time ever. Guillotine finish. It's 14-1 right now. And it shouldn't be 14-1. He's got better submissions than that. And, you know, Max Holloway's only been finished twice in his entire life, you know, right? Once was the knockout to Ilia Topuria. Do you know what the other one was?
No, I can't remember.
It was a submission loss to Dustin Poirier.
Oh, for real?
Yes.
In the first meeting. Okay.
In their first fight, he was submitted by Dustin Poirier. So Poirier submitted him before. Now, granted, those are different human beings basically fighting that fight. That was a whole lifetime ago. But 14-1 for just that narrative. Oh, I know there's some degens in the Discord hanging out with me on that one. So yeah, I'm gonna go Poirier on the money line, and hey, maybe we use our coffee money on that one too.
The degens seem to be all team Holloway for this fight, though. So
it's wild that he's a favorite to me after losing two of them, and I'm guessing it's just the Gaethje fight that's hyping him up. But like, you know, that's why I keep bringing up that point about the like technical striking of Poirier. He didn't beat a technical striker before.
No,
he beat the least technical guy we've seen in a minute. You know.
Yep. Yeah. Everyone. Everyone there is team Poirier, team Holloway, which is fine. Usually, you know, we would be team Holloway as well, but not here. All right. That's my lone dog too, Gummy. So I wonder what my dog of the week will be. All right, let's recap. We'll get you our fancy plays. Both have Poirier, both have Kopylov, both have Holland, both have Ige, both have Zellhuber. Team ride. All right. Locks, dogs, props. I think it's my turn to kick.
Can I guess?
Off. Okay.
Roman Kopylov on the money line.
That was my red herring. Yes, when I said that, I'm like, Gummy's gonna think it's my my dog because I talked up the line. No, it's from yesterday's episode. Francisco Prado.
That's the other one I had too.
Okay, good. Minus 133. Like the line. Well, you can understand why we. You can hear why we like him in that fight against Tennikov if you listen to yesterday's show or watch it.
I'm gonna do Jimmy Crute. Jimmy Crute against Marcin Prachnio. Prachnio can't defend the takedown. Crute's submission game is better than we give it credit for. I'll go Jimmy Crute.
All right, Crute. We had you at what do we have Crute at?
Negative 210.
Minus 210. All right. My dog obviously Dustin Poirier. It's the only dog I ended up picking on this here fight card because there's crappy odds on this card. Gumby.
I'm gonna go hard in the paint with my underdog of the week.
Okay.
I'm gonna take Robert Valentin. I think he's plus 455 right now. I think his grappling game's underrated. I think Oteba Gauthier gives up one takedown and he gives up a submission too.
All right, plus 455 for Valentin. Do you know what my prop is, Gumby?
I wrote down Kevin Holland inside the distance. How's that for you?
That's a good one. Yeah, I've probably found a juicier one. Carly Judici via knockout or TKO, plus 417. She's won all her fights via knockout, and she's going to have a big striking advantage in her fight. So
I maybe already have that written down to talk about.
Good. Excellent. All right. What's your prop of the week?
Way less juicy looking on that one. I'm going to take Islam Dulatov by knockout. Again, it's not that fancy of a line, but at negative 150, I think that's how he's going to win. He's a massive favorite in this one. And that's where we're going with that.
Right. Crute and Prado are the locks. Valentin Poirier the dogs. Dulatov knockout. Judici knockout are the props. All right. Hungry Man John Superfan, what?
We're going to go round robin. It's been a while since we hit the round robin, but I found a lot of prop lines I like. And the first one was Carly Judici by knockout.
Nice. Good pick.
Plus 417 right now. I had it at plus 400, but we'll grab the extra 17 there. Plus 417 for her on the knockout prop. And we got some real doozies in here, some big ones and some small ones too. The next one we're going to go with Jimmy Crute by submission. I mentioned I already like Jimmy Crute. Negative 210 is a pretty nice money line. His submission props plus 155. We've seen Prochnio get subbed his last time out by Modestas Bukauskas, who's arguably maybe not as good at submissions as Jimmy Crute. So I like the plus 155 there. We're going to go all the way up to the co-main event. I like Roman Kopylov by knockout. I think, as I said, Paulo Costa seems to be interested in quitting, gets kicked in the ribs a few times. He'll find a way to. Plus 250 on the KO prop. And then I got two massive submission lines for you here. We're going to go with Robert Valentin by submission. I just mentioned I think he gets him down. I think he dominates him on the ground. I think he could find the submission. That one's 700 right now. And then for the last one, we're going to take your lock of the week. We're going to take Francisco Prado, which, again, he's a guy who hasn't used much of his sub game in the UFC, but I think he's got the opportunity to win this one by submission, being the much better grappler and wanting to stay away from the striking. He's 850 on the sub line, and it's where he's won half of his fights. Half of his fights he's won by submission, and he's somehow plus 850 on the sub line. So once again, that's Judici KO, Kopylov KO, and then subs from Prado, Valentin, and Jimmy Crute. And for the math people out there who want to know how much that's worth, if you roll it into a round robin parlay, at two of them, you're going to pretty much make your money back. 3 is going to be a nice payday. 4 is going to be an enormous payday. And if you hit all 5 of them, you're going to get 346 times whatever you started with.
Nice. All right. Judici knockout, Crute sub, Kopylov knockout, Valentin sub, Prado sub. All right. You're all set for this fun fight card. I'm sure it'll be fun. The ones that we think aren't going to be good will be good. The main event, it'll be fun at the very least. We'll be in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord, chatting about this and many other things. You can hit us up on YouTube in the comments at MMA Gambling Podcast. Subscribe, please and thanks if you haven't already. Twitter, SGPN MMA. He's at Gummy Reeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer there and on Instagram for me as well. Now we told you who's going to win, how they're going to win. You can win my UFC pick'em contest. moneymma.substack.com. Gummy, Top Turtle MMA podcast. Tell the people who was on it this week.
Yeah, we're talking to Crispy Carly Judici and Robert Valentin, who are both fighting on this card.
Yes, you got it. And of course, and they're both in your Hungry Man John as well. And of course, sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. I guess we'll be back on Sunday. I'm assuming there's a bunch of fun regional MMA to cover starting next week, right?
Yeah, I think we got an LFA card that's not too bad. And then I don't know what various other things. Hopefully like a regional PFL, judging by the amount of times you guys watch that stuff. Because our UFC or our PFL Africa shows are doing very well right now. And I couldn't believe it. So, thank you guys for tuning in on that.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. All right. Bid the people farewell, Gumby.
Yeah, I'm Daniel Gumby Vreeland. He's 50K Jeff Fox. And we will see you on Sunday.